Hey everyone, Matt's Mox here. Today we are looking at a little special project. My camera I need to readjust because I just filmed an LNS train that came through here. But I'm on the breaker site again, and I wanted to walk through and do a little look at what the planned railroad is, well, where it's going to go, what it's going to do. As you can see in front of you, there is these two little foundations of something that was here. I need to look at images, but our property line kind of curves here and then it goes diagonal. This brush here is in the way right now, so that has to all get eliminated, and of course all the trees around here on the lowest level on our side is going to be removed as well. But to start with the railroad, we're going to go in between these two foundations here, just as like a little, a guiding point for when we first start laying. The planned line, well, we're going to walk it. So it'll come along through here. Of course, all this vegetation is going to be removed as time goes on, killed and buried over, or removed off completely with culm, like what's along here. And we're probably going to pick some coal out of here as well. But around here, things are starting to widen out on our property, and so we'll have our switch here. Our main line is going to curve into this direction. Straight ahead will be our 2-track engine house, so it's going to split right here, and we're going to continue along the main line. But along this side will be a 2-track engine house, which, depending on how exactly it all works, it'll either have enough lead outside where we can keep an engine out and use another one with one engine on the outside track, or it won't. That's just really how it depends on how things go. But our main track will curve along here, and it'll go through this almost bog-like area. And of course, due to the fact that it's so terrible over there still, we're going to walk over here to where the engine house will be. It'll take up pretty much the majority of this concrete or asphalt pad, which is here on site, and this is all within our boundaries, so the building's actually going to be pretty close to the fence. We'll be pretty close. But continuing along, again, lots to do down here. It's definitely going to take a while. But we come along here, and our property goes on for a little bit more. Alright. So you imagine the track has curved all the way up over to here, and there will be another switch somewhere over here, and that'll be for our mine rail section, and both tracks will actually continue on. The main track will run along this corridor here because we're going to maximize it. There's a dead animal skull fractured apart there, and it's going to go right to our property line, which is roughly where this piece of wood is, from our pole over there and from over there. However, there's going to be an extension here because slope number 5, which is located right there, will be entering our property. The mine rail track, which is where our mine cars will be stored, and we might even add another siding off of that depending on how things go, will curve up. Again, if we have the room for it, we'll put in another siding here. That's going to be all mine rail, so only a mine motor or a small mechanical engine could run there, or if a 6-ton or 8-ton porter came down, it could run. But the other track will curve up and will go towards the opening of slope number 5. Now, number 5 is actually gonna trace back here on the main. The number 5 is actually a 42-inch gauge piece of track, and we run 36-inch gauge. So We're not gonna build it so, we're gonna build it so it kind of curves up, so that way we have like a buffer on that end that's made out of a curve. There's a lot of, just animals around here, but we're not gonna really do the connecting. It's gonna look like, where the switch would have been, because at the top of the hill, now gone, used to be the hoist house, and that would hoist out of slope 5, which is over here. And we're gonna walk roughly right about here is where the hole in the ground is. It's currently buried over. It can be uncovered at any time. This will be opened. I'll have a fence around it, and of course the track running up towards it. So you kind of get an idea of like a mine railroad from it. And of course, even though it's not fully what was here, it kind of mixes between what was here at the Huber site with the operation over at Slope 18 in Wanamie. Of course, we have all this hill space here. A lot of these vegetation's gonna go. We're gonna try to keep the birch trees, and most importantly, the Charlie Brown tree. So that's all gonna stay. But over here, a lot of vegetation you see around here, all going to go, and all the weeds are gonna go. If we could get culm in bulk, we're gonna bulk up the culm that's already on site and try to make this a, when you come here, it's not gonna be like going to Disneyland. It's gonna be like you're in an active mine working. Even the building that we're gonna do, which I'm lobbying for, well, lobbying is a bit of a overexpression, but that building will be try to make it look like Wanamie as well. Try to make our engine feel like it's at home. And there's actually trash bags right here. I don't want to walk in that pile. Of course, we're going to have a little bit of a trail in that, as you can see, where you can climb up the slope. And you'll be able to walk up here. Our walking paths are going to be rubble and culm. And you get to our second level, grass territory. This level is basically kind of like the park section. So you have the railroad, the park, parking, and at the far end, museum. So it's like 4 things here. Again, it needs some work up here as well. You'll actually get, this is going to be the nicest thing, when trains are running, you can actually come up here and you get the high ground advantage from this nice area right here. You get a nice high ground view of the engines running. Of course, there's going to be no more vegetation on the lower level, and we're going to be cutting away here in between these 2 levels. So when the train's running, you get a really nice high ground shot, which might seem a little silly, but it'd be neat. This car is eventually going to get swapped with another car, and it'll find its way down to the lower level. If not, oh well. But if so, that'd be pretty nice. Hey, wait a second. I wrote this. I thought it was a fun joke. Our shanties up here. I definitely want to get another shanty for the area where there is a crossing on the lower level. And this little grotto area with the trees in that, although we're going to do some cutting around the bottom and we're going to try to clean it up here on top, this is going to remain mostly the same, just because it's one of the nice areas. Although that planter needs to get replaced or changed. And someone a while back was testing out their new machete, but that hasn't happened since because we got security cameras everywhere. By the way, we have security cameras, and we're gonna have a fence soon with the cameras, so yeah, don't even try, because we're monitored by the police department. Here's our shanty. Almost everything's been taken out of it right now. because someone kicked in the door. And until we fix the door, we're not going to leave anything in there. The other door, it's doing okay. Again, looking down. This little path might eventually disappear. Even though we use it a lot, it's not really safe for the public. There's that concrete pad. I don't know what the plan was for that. We have a lot of horses. We have wood and steel ones. Concrete pipes, those are asbestos. They're going to be chucked. We have a switch stand to go here, but that won't go in till much later on when we have a lot more cleanup. And that's mostly what's happening down here at the park. Another concrete base. We have, for those two bases, 2 Erie Railroad relay cabinets, which will be going with our CNJ signal, which will control the wiring, and of course, that's all I can really say on it. Now, there is a DL&W line pole that will be joining in eventually here as well. I'm not sure if that'll be on the upper level here or on the lower level. If it is on the lower level, we'll move it close to the mine site. Here's our little roadway down there, which is one of the greatest concrete streets out there. And I'm going to try to see if we can keep an open eye level in this area of the railroad over there. So then one day when we're running and L&S comes by, we can give them a little whistle show. We'll whistle over to them and hopefully they whistle back to us. Along here, we're going to do a bit more grading. As you can see, some grading was done, especially getting equipment during the work over there. And somehow we're going to be able to get handicapped people down here. Now, personally, I think it'd be pretty cool to haul down handicapped people in, you know, like have a hoist on the top and lower a specialized car that looks like the Wanamie cars down. But I don't think my superiors will approve of that. Now, coming back up, eventually this parking lot's going to be expanded when all this wood is gone. And our pole up here is going to stay. Be neat to get another one. There's a couple of these poles around still. And unfortunately, a decision made before I arrived was these horrific lights on this side that don't match whatsoever, and they don't even light up the area that well. The security camera up here does a better job at that. And of course, we have our main spotlights here from the breaker, and those actually work really well. Those top dish lights are original. The other ones were put in roughly in the 1970s, 80s. I want to see what the top ones, they need some work, but it'd be neat to, you know, get some recreation ones made. And look, 9. Yeah. But get some recreation ones made and use those on the lower level, or use the other type of lights. But I prefer these because they're a little harder to shoot out. Yes, people around here are terrible sometimes. There was a 10-foot length of rail donated by Sam, who helped with the cleanup over at Kingston. He'll probably be there when we do the second one, which I'll announce ahead of time. And here's some of the stuff. Everything small has been taken down to be stored in another location. These big items we have stored here. This is of course one of the neater items. Tons of brick, mostly pavers, and then of course the rails. This big piece of rail, too big for anything we have. We use mostly CNJ 90-pound, but this guy will most likely be used with one of our small displays, and hopefully we could rescue some more of the other rail. This tiny stuff here will get used when we do, shoot, I got distracted by the horn of the train. They're switching out safety clean. The small rail will be used on that little section probably for when we do the switches on the 40-pound section. And I forgot to grab, I left it here the other day, this strange hook. I don't know what it's for, but I'm taking it with me to find out what it's for. And last two things I want to show just before I stop the video. This is going to be a very long one, but it's all part of one big update video. We were donated some coal, and also when I find coal, I throw it in here. And I don't know why it's still over here. I'll have to pull it out of this pile eventually. One of the Slope 5 rollers is over here. Also, I need to salvage the hardware from that destroyed light. But yeah, that's about everything that's going on in the area. That's what's going on with the project and that. I think I'm gonna actually post this video separate. You're gonna see. I'm gonna probably post this one separate as its own little entity video, just because it doesn't really align with the typical updates. Because I was trying to show you what we do here. And might need a new American flag soon, too. Yeah. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, you can always ask, because we have YouTube comments. Follow the Wanamie 9 Facebook page, and we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.